Let's make it a good day.
Coming up today, after hearing about it for so long, we're getting our first look at Oprah Winfrey and Prince Harry's new documentary. Plus, Jimmy Fallon is bringing back a classic game show. It's all in the hot dip. Then, move over, Oprah. Kendall has her own book club. And it's another edition where, let's be real, her mom is the real star. And area rugs that you can throw in the washing machine. Yep. It's my latest best thing ever, a one-of-a-kind rug company you are gonna love. Here we go.
Let's make it a good day. We do it our own way. Let's make it a good day. Oh, no matter what they say. Oh, yeah.
Good morning, Maple Grove. Good morning, St. Paul Park. And good morning to Stockholm, Wisconsin. And good morning to you. Welcome to the Jason Show. I'm Jace. Please say hello to my sidekick sister from another mister and Bonanza's Employee of the Month, Kendall Mark, everyone.
Bonanza?
Bonanza Steakhouse.
Bonanza. It's
Yeah.
food?
Yeah, it was a steakhouse, and I've said this before, depending on where you lived, you either had Ponderosa or you had Bonanza.
Unless you're from Red Wing and then you had a neither, a neither, and none of the above.
Did you have a steakhouse in Red Wing?
Well, yeah, but it wasn't like a chain.
No, I know, that's fine.
It's just like a little old places. Hi, Red Wing.
Those are the best places.
Yeah.
So, Leo, can we take a shot at Kendall again real quick?
Please don't.
And if I was further rude, I would have him zoom in a little bit. But if Kendall looks a little peaked this morning, and if we could go into the control room and take a shot of Ted, producer Ted would also be a little peaked. And that's because yesterday, it was Valley Fair Day at the Jason Show. And you'll be seeing this on Friday, but a little sneak peek. We did a Jason Show meeting there, and the folks at Valley Fair, this is Jeff, Ted, and Kendall. Notice I am not on this thing. That's Jeff, Ted, and Kendall going up on the power tower. And about this moment, Kendall had already said 42 cuss words. Ted was a light salmon color, and Jeff was fine as a daisy, right?
He was directing up there.
This is no joke, courtesy of the Fox 9 drone, thanks to John Catu and Nate for flying the drone, and 275 feet in the air you're looking at there. How did it end? Who actually did worse? Ted, Kendall, or Jeff? Now, I kind of gave it away. This is all I will tell you. I had a conversation yesterday after going to dinner, and I was like, well, I now know out of the staff who could actually hang with us at Disney World, and that's Jeff. And I now know who will never be invited to a weekend at Disney World, and that's that lady right there. There she is.
I'd be really fun at like Epcot and the parts where you like eat and drink.
Yeah.
Yeah, I tried to hide my face with my sleeves.
All I'll say is this, and I think this is the finale of the piece. We ended on a kiddie ride that literally went like this. And Kendall was like, I'm getting sick! I'm getting sick!
Ted and I did not do well by the end. We did not fare well.
No. So you'll see that Friday, Jeff? Is that Friday? It was a good time.
It was fun, and it was so nice to be there.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah, they were, thanks in advance to the folks at Valley Fair. They're back, they're open after being closed for over a year. So go support them. I think it's gonna be nice this weekend.
Yeah.
So thanks, and you'll see that on a Friday. One more little note. I don't do a lot of birthday shout-outs because if we did, the whole show would be birthday shout-outs, but this is different. Happy birthday to that guy right there. That's my dog. That's Dexter, my boxer. He is 8 years old today. That's the Bubbers. I have a boxer and a French bulldog, Mr. Big. And Biggie knows this. You know, Dexter and I have a bond because when we got him as a puppy, I only had one job. It was the year that I was not on television when I left Fox because the contract was horrible. And then we got Dexter as a puppy. And I was able to raise him, so I kind of bonded, and Colin had like a 9-to-5 job. So that's my boy, and I'm not kidding. I love the Biggie. but I'll never have another dog like this. This is the best dog I'll ever own in my life. He's just the best, and I love him. He's my boobs. When I come home every day, we have the same routine. I come home, I walk in the room, he jumps on the couch or jumps on the bed, and he gives me a hug. He puts his feet up here, and I rub his belly, and he gives me a kiss, and best part of my day. And by the way, that's what I do with Jeff, too, when I get in here every day. Let's get started, everybody. It's time for the hot dish. Roll it, Leo.
Why do you make that motion?
Because I wanted to make you sick
again. I'm having a hard time today.
Let's get started. We're getting our first look at the new docuseries about mental health. It's called The Me You Can't See. Prince Harry and Oprah are behind the project. It's going to be on Apple TV+. Let's look at the trailer here.
To make that decision to receive help is not a sign of weakness. In today's world, more than ever, it is a sign of strength.
People that acknowledge their mental health struggles, they're really like superheroes.
I just frozen, In front of us is a human being who's suffering. Treating people with dignity is the first act. I think it's our natural state to be connected.
Lady Gaga, as you can see, is in it. Glenn Close. They both share their mental health stories. The Me You Can't See, I love that name, drops later this week. Look, I said it yesterday. The tawdry, the drama stories about Prince Harry and Meghan, I'm kind of done with, but I love this. And you know what's interesting about Oprah being in this is, if you think about it, the stigma of talking about mental health started to kind of break away because of talk shows. You know, talk shows in the 90s got really tacky and not really valuable. But if you think about it, talk shows started allowing us to talk about things we never would have talked about. Sexual abuse, divorce, mental health. And Oprah Winfrey, along with Phil Donahue and others, kind of led that charge. So it's so appropriate that Oprah's in this, because think about it. Oprah was really the first person. You may not like her. You may not be a fan of her and never watch the show. But Oprah was really the first media sensation, television personality that talked about being abused as a child, being sexually abused. Think that was unheard of. That was unheard of for a guest to talk about it, let alone her. So her being in it and Harry leading the charge, and this normal folks too, it's so helpful, because everybody that speaks their truth on this issue, makes it easier for others to speak their truth. I've said myself, I'm in therapy. My goodness, I should have it every day. But I have a couple jobs. But I've been very open about my own struggles. I was molested and working through that and working through relationship stuff. So, yeah.
Yeah, my sister Ellie is a massive mental health advocate.
Yes.
It was her job. It now is something that she continues to preach about a lot. And I think the good thing from what I see from her, who she's 6 years younger than me, just on that cusp of generational, pass. A lot of people her age are a lot more open to talking about it. And I think that's fantastic. I think this will help people of my age and your age and our parents' age hopefully be a little more open to it.
Yeah. That generation may have had that stupid word chuggy, but this is good.
Chuggy's great.
No, it's not. Next in the dish. The Tonight Show hasn't been the late night powerhouse it once was, but that doesn't seem to bother the suits over at NBC. The network just announced they've extended Jimmy Fallon's contract for 5 more years. So that will put the Tonight Show. He's hosting the Tonight Show since 2014. So what, 5 plus about 2026? It struggled recently versus the Late Show, but apparently it's been picking up viewers since January. Good for him. And in related news, this show has been picked up through June.
That's only like 2 weeks, people.
No, I made a joke about my contract. I shouldn't make that joke. My contract is up in like September. So.
To which then I said, so does that mean my contract's up in September?
Probably. I think we're tied together. We're like ship and anchor, you know? No, it's good for him. You know, look, right there it is. Thank you, Chris.
Yes.
But please, Mim, the boss, she could have that changed in 45 minutes. Oh, Jeff just said less. Yeah.
He's very clear. So
He's very
less.
clear. Now, next, speaking of Fallon, he's also set to take on another project. He will help reboot the classic 1960s TV show Password. The password is Jimmy. The show originally debuted in 1961 and aired more than 1,500 episodes. It's just one of 6 other projects Fallon is working on for NBC. Last week, we told you about some of his other shows, including that horrible idea of a Kids Tonight show. I can never make fun of people with multiple jobs. That's not, a hypocrite party of one. However, 7 other projects, Bethany had that great analogy of filling your buckets. And if you have just a whole bunch of half-empty buckets, that's not necessarily the best thing. Right. Fill a couple buckets up.
Right. We're all human. You can only put so much energy into so many things.
Yeah.
And when you are putting that much energy into very big things too, what's going to fall?
Yeah. Jeff and I were going to open a series of nail salons, but we can't, we got to concentrate on the show.
They know what they're doing too.
J&J Nail Care.
Mm-hmm. Wow, that has a nice ring to it.
I think, thank you. We have the logo down.
Yeah. Oh,
Manny's
good.
and Petty's.
Should I get on that contract too?
No, unfortunately, you're not involved in that project. Just this. We're going to take a break. We're going to be back right after this important message. More fun is still ahead. You no doubt watched or heard about the 60-minute story on UFOs. The late night host had a lot to say about it. More Hot Dish is next. Then, a woman-owned rug company is making it way easy to clean those area rugs. I'll unveil my latest best thing ever. And the second season of Netflix's The Circle is back. Is the second go-around as fun as the first? Ted will tell us. That and more when we come back.
This guy with his hair, this is Gabriel. He's an entrepreneur.
They all are.
Yeah. Which is French for unemployed, yes. He believes that people should respect elegant styles of the past.
Which means he's either gay or weird.
Could be both.
Yeah, right.
He's out is what he is.
Yeah. Yeah. He'll be the one everyone hates, right?
For sure. Yeah.
Garrett is not a fan of tangy foods.
I would not think he was.
Bland foods.
Who's not a fan of tangy foods?
I like him. Garrett's the guy you dance with at a wedding, your cousin's wedding.
I like
Garrett's
him
really
at
fun.
work, but I don't want to go to dinner with him.
He's eliminated a whole category of food that really doesn't even exist.
It must
I
bother
wonder
him.
what it is for him. I like
don't know.
him.
I don't.
Okay.
It's time for a dose of denim. Here is Jeff.
No.
Jeff is a skin salesman. This is weird.
That's not
Jeff
cool.
actually sells artificial skin, for medical procedures.
Jeff needs to
There
get
has
out.
to be another phrase than skin salesman for that.
Jeff calls himself an exceptional lover.
Oh,
that's a little weird.
How would you know?
He doesn't.
A skin specialist of another kind.
Point made. Kimmel and his friends looking at the new Bachelorette profiles. I don't know. Are you excited about this season?
I want to be.
But
I
you're
am
not.
I haven't been excited since they announced Claire.
Yeah.
Forever ago. That just ruined the whole thing for me, and it's just been a train wreck since.
I got a message during the commercial break calling me out, rightfully so. They said, look at you making fun of Kendall and Ted on a ride you wouldn't even ride. Very true. Very true. Yeah, I did not ride it. I did the coaster, and I did the kiddie ride. You know what it is, and we all have these things. I don't like rides where your feet dangle.
You
know what
did
I
say
mean?
that. You're like, I'll do anything but anything where my feet dangle. I
Like
don't do
that, the thing with the giant thing with the swings, where you're literally with chains. I'm a big dude. I don't want to be held by chains.
I get it. I don't like spinny rides. Can't do those. So you can only imagine after seeing me on non-spinny rides what I'm like on these kind. I once had to lay on the ground in Lake City after Lake City water ski days. I went on a spinny ride, like by the trash can. Not for that reason, but because it was grass. I laid there for 2 hours waiting for my dad to pick me up while people just walked by and were like, hey, is she dead? Is she okay? Because I was so sick, so dizzy. People get it. It's hard when you have vertigo.
Next in the dish. It's a 60-minute story people are still talking about this morning. The likely existence of UFOs. Look at this.
Recently released images may not convince UFO skeptics, but the Pentagon admits it doesn't know what in the world this is. Or this. Or this. So what do you say to the skeptics? It's refracted light, weather balloons, a rocket being launched, Venus.
In some cases, there are simple explanations for what people are witnessing, but there are some that are not. We're not just simply...
Now, that's not some goober with a podcast in Oklahoma. That's a former military intelligence officer speaking out about his work investigating UFOs at the Pentagon. The Pentagon. The story featured Navy pilots speaking out about seeing unidentified objects. Now, I talked a little bit about this yesterday, but it's still, people are still, because then earlier in the day, CBS Sunday Morning had a whole different story, interviewed 2 other scientists about it. And that one shot over San Diego or over California or on the coast, the little triangles with the dots, it's one of 2 things. Star destroyers from Star Wars or a foreign enemy with technology that we don't have. Either way, not good. This story doesn't end well.
Why are we I thought this was a happy show.
It is a happy show, but I'm just saying, we're going to get this report. Jeff, do we know when the Pentagon report's coming out? Why am I turning to Jeff like I'm Chuck Todd or something? I don't know when it's coming out.
Well, we're talking about the Pentagon, I mean.
Yeah, I don't know. But I'm telling you, you can go, oh, maybe that's a balloon for one of them. But when Bill Whitaker kept going, how about this one? How about this one? How about this one? And the one that was going 13,000 miles an hour, and then the other one that was there and then went underneath the water, no. We laugh now, laugh clowns, but when E.T.'s showing up at your mom's doorstep and then mom leaves, we ain't gonna be laughing. Not that I want Dark kidnapped by an alien, but I'm just saying. Land shark.
Why is this so scary to me?
It should be scary, because I told you yesterday. People think, oh, First Contact is gonna be great. I mean, you saw the movie, it's the kid and Elliot and da-da-da-da-da. No. It's not gonna be like E.T. It's gonna be like Independence Day. We're gonna be here to take our buildings, our dirt, our fried chicken places.
Our puppies.
Yeah. Did you see that article in the New York Times about eagles? That the eagle population is growing, and that's the good thing. But the bad thing is the bald eagles are like taking your pets. So there's a pet company for little dogs that have like a pet coat with little spikes on it to prevent the eagle from grabbing the little dogs.
Wow.
This show just turned horrifying, actually.
I don't know how I feel about being here.
Well, I'm not sure I know how I feel about you being here.
Bunker.
Last night, late night hosts did have a lot of fun. I told you, everyone's talking about the UFOs. Look at this.
I can't believe so many people didn't see it. I feel like if this story had been on 60 Minutes in like 1988, it would be the only thing we talk about for the next 30 years. It would have been the biggest news story of the year. Now it's like, I heard that. And I also heard Bill Gates was trying to get freaky with one of his employees, right?
I know that doesn't necessarily mean aliens. It is just a UAF. But I was wondering if you have a theory about that.
What is true, and I'm actually being serious here, is that there's footage and records of objects in the skies that we don't know exactly what they are. We can't explain how they moved, their trajectory. They did not have an easily explainable pattern.
60 Minutes had a piece on the existence of UFOs, and this is what a former top Pentagon official had to say.
So what you're telling me is that UFOs are real.
Bill, I think we're beyond that already.
It sounds nutty, wacky.
I'm not telling you that it doesn't sound wacky. What I'm telling you, it's real. The question is, what is it? What are its intentions? What are its capabilities?
And of course, he's talking about his goatee.
Telling you, I know what its intentions are when it gets here.
I don't know. I think, honestly, though, that all this reminded me of the interview you did with that gentleman from the Berkshires.
Yeah.
When he talked about how he and other people had this experience forever ago. Never talked about it because they were like, no one will believe me. And then 30 years later, started talking, and we're like, oh my gosh, that happened to you too.
We're going to drop this because Ted's in the control room going, please go to the next story. But I have a person in my life very close to me that claims he or she was abducted by aliens and had 2 little spots on either side of her head.
Who are you hanging out with?
From the instrument that Alf used.
Is this that same lady that thinks she's a mermaid?
No, I fired her, but no, Murd's gone.
Who are you hanging out with?
I'm not going to say. Next in the dish.
Oh.
The folks at our parent company, the FOX, have released trailers for 4 of their new primetime shows for the upcoming fall season. And because we're running the story, each of us on the staff get $1. Among the shows is a dark comedy written by one of the folks behind The Conners called Pivoting. Look at this.
I can't believe she's gone.
You know, of the 4 of us, I really did think you'd be the first to go, Amy.
I'm so sorry. I promise I will be next. Colleen would really like that.
If Colleen's death has taught us anything, it's that we don't know how much time we have left. We have to live our best lives now.
I am going straight home from work. I'm gonna be a really good mom.
Hi, Luke.
The show stars Maggie Q, Jennifer Goodwin, and Eliza Coop. Eliza Coop. That's a cool name.
Mm-hmm.
That looks good.
Yeah, I love 30-minute humor. I love that.
I want networks to do more comedy.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, another show, The Big Leap. We get another $1. Appears to be a dramatized version of So You Think You Can Dance. Okay. It stars Scott Foley from Scandal and Terry Polo from Meet the Parents. Fox did not release the trailers, by the way, so for a show called Our Kind of People, which will air on Tuesdays, or the Fantasy Island reboot. The new shows will debut in the fall. I'm here for the reboot of Fantasy Island and Our Kind of People. Damian Holbrook from Entertainment Weekly, great entertainment journalist, I guess saw the script or something and said it is like a Knots Landing in a black community. It's like a black Knots Landing.
Right? Isn't it like Martha's Vineyard?
Sorry, I shouldn't pound on my desk. That poor woman emails me every day. Anyway, I'm all for that. Yeah, it takes place
in Martha's Vineyard,
yes.
Right? Okay. Looks good.
I'll take any version of Knots Landing. I don't care. But yeah, because Knots is a great premise. Cul-de-sac, different families.
Yeah, speaking of Knots Landing, when we were on the Power Tower, what were you doing yesterday?
Next in the dish. Yesterday we talked about Ewan McGregor. He stars in the new show Halston about the famous fashion designer. I started watching it on Netflix last night. I'll talk about it, but here's a little bit of the trailer.
I have a vision. I'm going to change the face of American fashion.
Words like violence break the silence, come crashing into my little world, painful to me.
What we need is to figure out your signature.
Can't you?
What's going to make me see some gorgeous woman and say, that's a Halston?
Well, they figured it out. Halston was a fashion designer that rose to fame in the 70s, was buddies with Liza Minnelli, Bianca Jagger, and Andy Warhol. Really, when you think of pop culture in the mid to late 70s, Halston was right there. His fashion, he's one of the most revelatory fashion designers ever. And when you watch this, you'll see why. I was unsure about it. After episode 1, I wanted to finish the whole thing, but I had to go to bed and had to finish an episode of Restaurant Impossible. But this is so good. Ewan McGregor becomes Halston. It's interesting to see the evolution. He's from Indiana, small town Indiana, Evansville. The woman that plays Liza is great. The intrigue with the other designers is good. Go watch it. Halston, 5 episodes, Netflix. Bloop. We're going to take a break. We'll be back right after this.
Let's make it a good day. We do it our own way. Let's make it a good day. Oh, no matter what they say.
Try to make it a good day every day. Welcome back, everybody. Well, as we approach the summer season, many of you are making lists for books to read on the patio or sitting by the pool. This morning, Kendall, and more importantly, her mom, are back with some great picks for the month of May and beyond. Take it away, ladies.
Okay, Mom, it's May. Time for some good reads. Go for it.
Yes, and May, since it happens to be Asian American and Pacific Islander Heritage Month, I chose two of my favorite authors of all time, Amy Tan and Lisa C. So we're going to start out with one of your favorite novels, which happens to also be a great movie, by the way. It is called The Joy Luck Club. It's an older book. It was written in 1989, and if you haven't read it since then, I strongly suggest you revisit it because I think you'll have a whole new take on how you feel about it. This is a book first book ever that made me actually cry when I read it, and I've been hooked on historical fiction ever since. It's a story of 4 mothers and 4 daughters. In 1949, these 4 women found each other. They were all Chinese immigrants, and they began meeting to play mahjong in San Francisco, where they all immigrated to. And they didn't just play mahjong, they also kind of shared their sorrows about the things they had left behind when they immigrated from China, and they tried to share these things with their daughters. And so it's basically about an immigrant experience with this deep and often complicated connection with daughters and mothers. And truly one of my favorite books, so descriptive and beautiful, but also filled with sorrow. But I loved it. I think you should all read it again if you haven't read it yet.
Yeah,
my second book.
Everything you said, I saw the movie first. You had us watch it, and then I read the book, and it's just beautiful. It's so good.
So The Island of Sea Women, written in 2019, a little newer, by Lisa C. I don't think I've ever read a book by Lisa C. that I did not absolutely love. Everything's been a winner in my eyes. This one is set on the Korean island of Jeju. It follows the friendship of 2 young women over many decades. Starts around the time that Japan is colonizing their island, goes through the Korean War, World War II, all the way up through wetsuits and cell phones. And these 2 young women meet when they begin their work as Haenyeo. The Haenyeo of this island, deep-seated, hundreds of years long tradition where the women, the females of the island, did all the dangerous and physical work of diving without any wetsuits, without any equipment at all. They just dove and did the fishing. So in other words, they brought home the money for the family, and the men stayed home and raised the children. This book is about courage, also filled with sorrow and pain, and yet it's one of my favorite books, I believe, of all time. It's very descriptive, which is why sometimes it's hard to read, because the descriptions are like you are right there in some very painful times in history. What I loved about it, I learned so much about this island and these women that I knew nothing about before. I've never read any of this in a history book. And I just don't want you to miss this one. Island of Sea Women, Lisa C. That's what I have.
You have some really good ones. Mine's a little different. So I read this book a few months ago, actually, and then told all of you needed to read it. It was one of those perusing, and I liked the title. That's how easy this was. It's called The 7.5 Deaths of Evelyn Hardcastle. Weird title, got me. So somebody wrote, it's like a mix of Agatha Christie, Groundhog's Day, and dystopian novel. And that's the best way I can describe it. There's this man, Aidan Bishop. He knows the rules, it says. This woman, Evelyn Hardcastle, will die every single day at the same time until he changes the cycle. The problem is, every time he thinks he's got it figured out, the new day starts and he's in a new body and he's a new person. It's the most twisted, odd novel. When I was reading it, a woman actually was in a public space reading it, and she came up to me and said, "Is that this book?" And I said, "Yes." How'd you know? Because I was looking at the map in the front. You always know it's a good book if there's a map of the grounds in the front of the book. And she said, try to remember all the clues, because it's a murder mystery. And so I read the book trying to remember, and I still truly couldn't figure it out, just like an Agatha Christie novel, until the last 20 or so pages. And then I was even still like, oh, left field, didn't see that one coming. Really, really good if you're into those kind of books and you don't mind a little bit of mystery and spookiness, like Downton Abbey era, Great Britain, back then, murder mystery. Pretty cool.
Kendall joins me now. You talked. Your mother actually let you talk there.
I know. We talked ahead of time, and she was like, I think these 2 books are going to be really good, and it's brief, and I've got it. And then I was like, oh, okay, I'll talk. Cool.
I love it. She could take over the whole thing as far as I'm concerned, the whole show.
She's got all the good, honestly, since I was a little kid, that's why we started doing this. She's got the best book recommendations. She does.
Yeah.
So.
Remind folks, she works
as a children's librarian.
Yeah.
Or for the library, she always corrects me. She's not a librarian,
yeah,
but she's with the children's book department.
Great. I love it. I love that you got to talk. If you missed any of the book picks, we'll be posting this segment on our Facebook page a little bit later and our YouTube page. Just search for Jason Show TV. But please, we are a small but mighty staff. Give us a little patience. We'll have those up a little bit later today. I love it. Like when we get done, we'll immediately, no doubt, in this break, we will get an email that goes, where is that? Give us a moment. We're going to take a break, and we'll be back right after this, everyone. Where is it? Beautiful shot by Chris, director Chris. You'll remember Chris, I've referenced her before, because Chris was the one, Kendall, you know what I'm going to say. Chris is the one that she was watching our show from the master control. That's where the whole world, Chris, but with one button, can bring down the whole network. And she's watching our show, and we were doing a clip show where we were showing all of my past celebrity interviews, and this is Chris. Remember when this show had really big stars on it?
She had a point.
She did have a point. It's the pandemic. We can't get anybody.
In real life.
In real life.
Yeah.
Anyway. Remember when this show was good? It's one of the newest things I'm loving right now, which means it's time for my latest best thing ever. Roll it, Leo. Okay. Credit where credit's due, because when this happens and I don't give credit, I get beef at home later. I have to credit my best friend, Jen, who you've seen here before. She got one of these, and then I had to get one of them. My best thing ever, Ruggable. Ruggable. It is a female-owned, woman-owned rug company. You go online, and they have a variety of designs. And before we run the video, we're going to run my video first, or my video. Is the unique thing about this is the fact that they give you like a mat that fits the exact size of your carpet, and then the rug connects to the mat. So it's easily, you can pull up the actual rug, throw it in your washing machine. And it's so great. So here's how it comes to you. I think this is my video. There's the box right there. I got an 8x11. I will talk about the size of it in just a second. There's Dexter, happy birthday. So it comes in that box, and then you unroll it. It's just 2 pieces. There's a little instructions right there, so it's not like IKEA. There's basically 3 instructions. You'll see it right there. And there she is right there. That's the woman that started it. And you roll it out. You put the mat wherever you want it, get it sized up, and then roll. And then there it is right there. That's my new rug. And if you look closely, look at the design. Does anybody notice anything about that design?
Is that a skyline?
They are X-Wings from Star Wars.
Oh.
In a modern design. So this is my movie room, so it fits. But unless you really knew, you wouldn't be able to tell. But anyway, there it is, set up in the room. And look, the larger sizes took a little coordination, because you got to smooth out, almost like a case on your iPhone. You got to smooth the air bubbles out over the mat. But please, if you have 2 people, easy pleasy. And we have some video of what the actual mat looks like. There it is from Ruggable. So you roll that thing out wherever you want it, whether if it's an area rug or a runner, or like I said, I got an 8x11, and then boom, the actual rug attaches to that kind of grounding mat. So it doesn't move. You can't touch it. You roll it out like that. You get rid of all the air bubbles. And then when you want to wash it, you roll it back up and throw it in the washing machine. It is so easy. You wash it on cold. The washing instructions are on there. But if you have high traffic areas or pets or messy children's, and you're sick of replacing rugs every 2 years, Ruggable is great. I loved it.
I've heard a lot about these too. So would it fit in a normal wash machine?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
Because the rug isn't that thick.
Okay.
So it's pretty thin, but then the pad is thick.
Okay.
So you still get, is it luxuriously soft like no. But for high traffic areas or for me, like under a couch, it's perfect. All sorts of beautiful designs. And again, it took us that long. If we didn't have to put it under furniture, it would have taken even a shorter amount of time.
Yeah.
But I had to maneuver things.
Pricing wise, like kind of comparable to Target rugs?
The 8x11, and it was a Star Wars one. It was like $450, I think, $500, something like that.
That's pretty good for a really big rug.
Yeah, so Ruggable is my latest best thing ever, everybody. We'll be right back right after these words. Back in a moment. I suddenly forgot where I was. Jason, you're on the Jason Show.
This could change the entire game.
People are lying. People are not even who they say they are.
There is some romance in the air when it comes to me and Trev.
One of you two are the catfish.
It's not a game for me now.
Aim of the game is to be popular. You weren't popular, babe. Before you leave, you can meet one player face to face.
Oh,
no. Alert!
Lance Bass?
What's NSYNC?
Y'all never heard of NSYNC?
One Netflix's breakout reality shows is back, and the catfishing is real. Season 2 of The Circle dropped recently, and after a strong first season, the bar has been raised for Season 2, and that means, once again, it's time for 47% of America loves Ted. And joining us from reality show headquarters is Ted Johnson. Good morning, Ted.
Good morning.
Okay, just to refresh everyone's memory, number one, did you like Season 1?
I did like Season 1. It was a different kind of concept. You had 8 different people living in their own apartments. It's basically quarantine.
Okay.
And they're communicating through a voice app. So it's like, open message. Jason, I like this show. Send message.
Okay.
So it was interesting how that drama kind of unfolds and they don't even know if these people are real.
So they are not seeing each other. They're like in their own little pods.
Correct. They're in their own little apartment. And this first clip that I'm going to show you, it's crazy.
Circle message. How is everyone feeling? ... Is this crazy or what? Send. Girl, yes, it is so crazy. And you cute.
I don't like when people use the word crazy. It's a stigma, but it is wild.
Circle message. Hey all, I'm so on fire to be here. Exclamation point. Loving my apartment. It's like the circle read my mind.
Hashtag living the dream. Nice, I love that. Big dreams, my friend, big dreams.
Okay. I don't know. Do they do that the whole time, Ted?
The whole time. That's what it is, the whole time.
I have to hear them say hashtag ha ha ha.
Crying emoji.
Crying emoji,
Yep.
flame emoji.
Yep, that's part of it.
I am rainbow emoji for gay. That's the whole show?
Yeah.
Okay. And then what is the overall point of it?
To see who's the most popular.
And how is that judged? Do they get points or something?
They all rank each other individually. So they rank who's the most popular, who's the least popular, and then the rankings come out, and then the 2 most popular become called the social influencers. And then the least popular, then they decide who goes home. This guy's name is Lee. He's like 55 years old, but he's coming in, he's catfishing everyone. And his catfish name is, wait for the guy, he is a guy known as River, right there, a hippie 20-year-old.
That's supposed to be him.
Yes, that's who he's playing. But one of the episodes I saw, he was trying to talk with one of the women and like show how cool he was, and so he used hashtag JFTF, and she's like, "What does that mean?" And he was like, "Just for the fun."
Just for the fun. Okay, so we have the catfish guy. Do you have any favorites right now?
Well, I like that guy. The problem with this show is that, so the first season you had like a mix. There were like a couple of catfishes. Now it's like everybody's a catfish. So I have a hard time keeping everyone straight.
Okay.
But yeah, I mean, I like that guy. And then one guy gets eliminated, and then they bring in Lance Bass.
Now, is it really Lance Bass, or is it another catfish situation?
It's another catfish situation, which you think, like, this is easy to catfish, but it's his former personal assistant. So, but it's funny because, like, River, the 20-year-old, the River, it's trying to play it off like, oh, you're in the entertainment business. What's that? And they're like, so they're trying to show that they don't know who NSYNC is, basically.
Are you going to keep watching? Wow, you had to think about that for a long time.
I'm going to disappoint Phil here. Probably not.
Okay. This does not, you saying that, I was going to watch it until right about now. When you just said, ooh. Yeah, I was going to give it a try, but no.
I like season 1 better. I think the people were better in season 1.
Okay, maybe I'll go back and watch that one. It's Ted right there. He's good in any season. Thank you, buddy. We're going to take a break. We'll be back with the bubblegum bubble. Roll the break. We'll be right back. Welcome back. I'm not going to watch that show.
No.
It looks horrible.
It looks terrible. The old man catfishing the people, it kind of weirds me out.
Speaking of being weirded out, you are weirded out, aren't you, by the UFO stories?
Dude.
And I told Kendall the story. I can't really tell in the break. I'll just give you a little brief. The person that I know went missing like for a week, like no memory of a week.
I joked to you, but then you told me the story, and I was like, do I have to be worried about this?
Yeah.
Should I be worried about this?
Returned after the week, called a relative and said, I'm back. And the relative was like, where did you go? Creepy. Like the first time I heard that story from the person, I was like, oh my goodness. Yeah, so, no. I asked, I go, was there a little vodka involved? No.
No.
Okay, it's time for the bubblegum goodbye question. Are you ready, Kendall?
I don't think so.
What is a weird food combination that you love? The answer when we come back, right after this. Back to our little circus. The bubblegum goodbye mystery question. What weird food combination do you love? Ladies first.
Keep this in mind. I hate cottage cheese normally. I eat mashed potatoes with cottage cheese on top.
Ugh.
Honestly, try it. It's so good. And a little salt and a little pepper.
No, Ted literally just got sick in the control room.
Okay, well, he doesn't eat anything. What's yours?
No. Mine is, my mom used to make this. It's called hamburger mexicana. That's what my mom called it. My grandma called it. It is ground beef, like hamburger meat, corn niblets, and like tomato soup, and you mix it together.
Well, that doesn't
and it's
sound
like
bad.
a little goulash. It's
like
a little
sloppy
stew.
Joe almost.
Kind of, yeah. But it came from the fact that you didn't have a lot of money and you just mixed whatever you could.
Right.
Now, Cappy, my R.I.P. my buddy, had mom put noodles in it.
Ooh, that's even
like
better.
a goulash.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So there we go. Oh, that sounds good.
Yeah.
Maybe I'll make that for lunch. No, I'm not. Who am I kidding? Tomorrow on The Jason Show, the toy guy is back with his picks for the best toys for summer fun with the whole family, and we'll be interviewing a real-life alien. That's tomorrow on the show. I did that just to freak you out.
Why?
So easy. But right now, that's going to do it for us. If you're a kid watching, you go out there and be yourself because nobody can tell you you're doing it wrong. Have a great day. Enjoy that weather. Happy birthday, Dexter. I love you. We'll see you tomorrow.